Here we go. Let's look at some more features of sentences. I'll find my play from start button. Oh, yes. Oh, sure. That's fine. Okay, so this is a lesson that's gonna kind of call upon you to remember some things that we looked at in the previous lesson. So if you need to take some time to review, these are the things I think you might have been able to get out of that previous lesson. And if you want to pause this video and think about them more, great. Or maybe review the previous video if any of them feel like, I don't understand. It took me many, many times. It keeps taking me many, many times to review these concepts. Even after all these years, I learn something new every time I look at these basic concepts and ideas. I promise. It's not you, it's it. But hopefully it's fun. All right. This sentence is an actual sentence, a modified sentence that I saw on social media and saved because it's the kind of sentence linguists just hang out in the bushes waiting for. Oh no, that sounds terrible, but it's a good sentence. It has a particular property that really helps us linguists to explain how word combinations can contribute to meaning. So this person, I don't know why. I don't know who they are. I don't know why they did this. It's not smart. And I don't know why they're bragging about it on social media. But the sentence, so good. They wrote the sentence in an informal register. Oops. Oh, no. Sorry. In which they didn't include their pronoun, right? And maybe that was on purpose. Maybe Wayne wanted us to read this sentence as Wayne Polotkin chased a bear with an axe today. I interpreted it as meaning he chased a bear with an axe today. So taking his point of view, I converted it into this simple sentence. I chased a bear with an axe today. I swear to you, I have never chased a bear with an axe. All right, nor would I. Fair. Let's look a little bit at the sentence, and we'll learn some word types that we need to be familiar with. We'll talk about them in other examples as well, but for now we're just going to introduce these terms and also their little abbreviations. So I'm saying that the word I in English is a pronoun, right? Other pronouns include me, you, he, she, it. The words and un, I'm calling determiners, and then with, I'm calling a preposition. So I think I actually, define each of these a little bit more clearly. Function words or function morphemes. Sometimes pronouns are in affixes. They're not whole words, but in this case, it's a whole word pronoun. A function word that they stand in for noun phrases. That doesn't help. Maybe the list of them helps. For English, it's things like I, me, he, she, it, they, them. Now, I say the English pronouns include I, me, he, she, it, they, them, and many others, right? In different languages, you'll have different sets of pronouns, but they can always include things like some word or morpheme that a speaker can use to refer to themselves. That's going to be the first person pronoun. Some little pronouns that you can use to refer to your listener. That's going to be the second person pronoun or pronouns. And then some little set of pronouns that you can use to refer to somebody who's neither speaker nor listener. So English has a very weird set of third person pronouns. These are just some of them: the he, she, it, they, them. I could have included him, her. I could have included himself, herself. These are all third-person pronouns in English. Lots of languages have much simpler sets of third-person pronouns. Maybe you don't have to distinguish between dudes and chicks in your third-person pronouns. Maybe you do. Maybe it's different things. Anyway, these are the pronouns. Determiners. This is a really important class of words or morphemes. Again, they could be just little affixes, but whatever they do, they're little grammatical or function elements that introduce nouns and combine with nouns to make noun phrases. So you'll remember in lesson 1, I think, what is syntax, we had the determiner ma, which translated into English as something like that. The articles of English, the, are determiners. They're a little subclass of determiner, the article. Not all languages have articles, but all languages seem to have at least some determiners. And they can mean things like that or this. They can be quantifiers like all or some. They can be other kinds of things, but they want a noun and they combine with nouns to make noun phrases. So I, a pronoun, it's a noun phrase. A bear, a noun phrase. An axe, a noun phrase. All right? All right. And then prepositions are, again, function morphemes or words that set up a relationship between two or more phrases. And prepositions combine with a noun phrase object. So, with an axe. With an axe. An axe is the noun phrase. It's the object of with in this example. They're called prepositions. Languages like English have prepositions because the little element precedes its noun phrase. So we say with an axe, not an axe with. Lots of languages have the same kind of word or morpheme, but it has to be in the other order, has to follow its noun phrase. I think Ute is a language that has postpositions rather than prepositions. So the name of the word class changes depending on whether you say it before its noun phrase, like in English, with an axe, or whether you say it after its noun phrase. In a postpositional language, you'd say something like an axe with, right? But either way, they're the same kind of kid, and linguists will sometimes use the word adposition if we are trying to talk about both prepositions and also postpositions. Okay. We talked about how sentences are units that have subjects and predicates. In this sentence, the subject is I, the chaser, right? And the predicate is chased a bear with an axe today. And inside of that predicate, we've got the verb chase, we've got the noun phrase a bear, we've got the preposition with, we've got its noun phrase, an axe, and we've got a modifier, a temporal adverb today. And all of that has to combine to give us the whole meaning of the sentence. Now, I don't know whether you've noticed that the meaning of the sentence could be one of two possible meanings. So there's a way that this sentence would mean that there's a bear with an axe, and that's who I chased. The bear had the axe. There's another meaning of the sentence in which I chased the bear, and I had an axe. when I did the chasing. Look, which one the sentence actually means, that's a matter that we all have to figure out based on context and speaker knowledge and stuff. But formally, this sentence is ambiguous. It has at least two distinct meanings depending on how you combine the words. So let me show you the structures. No matter what, we're going to have, I put the predicate in orange and the subject in gray so we can keep track of these things. We're going to build the sentence that means that I have the axe. So imagine a world in which a bear shows up and scares the living crud out of somebody, and that somebody decides the best thing to do is pick up an axe and chase the bear away. That's the meaning we're going to go for first. Is that right? Yes. All right. So, on that meaning, we've got the verb chase. We're chasing a bear, right? We've got the preposition with. It's with an axe, and stuff happened today. Whatever it was, it happened today. Okay. So, what happened in what way? Well, if we combine chased a bear and with an axe into the I'm labeling these things. VP just means a verb phrase. PP means prepositional phrase. What I can do in languages is take a unit like a verb phrase and put it together with something else to make a new verb phrase that contains that original one, right? So that's what I'm doing. Apparently, all languages let you do that under the right circumstances. So we get this predicate that has a person doing this thing. And what the person is doing is chasing a bear. They're doing that with an axe. And that whole thing happened today. Right? Okay, so that's that meaning. Now, I know these tree diagrams can be confusing. If you want pause, you can sort of walk through, or you can just choose to forget the tree and focus on the insight. The insight is, it's how we group the words that tells us what they mean. The other possible interpretation of this sentence is one in which I'm imagining that you left your very valuable axe outside at your camp. You saw a bear come in and take the axe and run into the forest with the axe, and then you chase the bear. Again, a dumb thing to do, and I don't accuse you of doing it. But if the sentence means that, this is how it might be built. We've still got our verb, and we've got a bear, but now the bear with an axe is who's being chased, right? Can you see that difference? We'll build this out. Now a bear with an axe, that actually, it's not in the with an axe part is part of the object, the direct object of chased. A bear with an axe. Still, it happened today. It all happened today. So I can now connect my verb up with its object, and then that whole verb phrase up with its little modifier, and now we have the sentence that means that. All right. This property of sentences in language, and they don't even have to be whole sentences, but anything you say that has multiple meaningful elements in it, some of those things might have multiple meanings depending on how you combine the elements together. And when that happens, linguists will tell you that you have structural ambiguity. Ambiguity means the thing has more than one possible meaning. Structural means that the different meanings are being generated not by different interpretations of the word itself, but instead by how we're combining the words. My favorite example of structural ambiguity in English is from this post from years ago, again from social media. I can't tell you how long I laughed when I saw this. It's so great. It's not even a sentence. This is a sign, and the sign says temporary dog park. That's a noun phrase, my friends. It's not a sentence. It's just a label. It's a noun phrase. I assume, some city was making a dog park. Maybe they were upgrading the dog park and they had to move. Anyway, they made and labeled a thing called a temporary dog park. Fair enough. Somebody took a picture of the sign and then posted it saying, "They're called werewolves." That's not the intended meaning, but do you see how it's an example of structural ambiguity? So I think the intended meaning is one in which dog and park combine together. There's a park, it's for dogs, right? But that park is temporary. It's not always going to be there. Someday they're going to move the dog park somewhere else. But the person who reposted this and said they're called werewolves, all they did is they combined temporary with dog first. Now it's a park for temporary dogs. What's a temporary dog? Ha ha, it's a werewolf. Oh no. Okay, so why do I love that example so much? Well, it has everything you'd want in an example. It has animals, it has supernatural beings, it's hilarious, but also it's an example, a really good example of how structural ambiguity tends to work, at least for me, maybe for you too, and it's like this. You'll encounter the structurally ambiguous thing, you'll hear it or see it, and you'll get one meaning out of it, and you'll think that it's not ambiguous at all. You'll think it's the clearest thing in the world, and you won't even realize that there's another possible meaning until somebody else points it out. But then once they do, it's like, boom. Oh, of course. So it's almost as if in the process of hearing somebody talk or reading language, we're building up these weird trees in our head, and we're not really aware of it, and we kind of build up the ones that we build up. And once we've got a good tree, we probably use our knowledge of context and probability and stuff in order to build up the tree that's going to work best for us. And we just do it once, and then once we've got a good one, we walk away thinking we've understood the sentence or the phrase or whatever. And we don't realize that there was another possible meaning until somebody draws our attention to it. But once they do, you can see it, you can hear it, you get why the thing is ambiguous. It's a really interesting observation, I think, about how we do language and how language works. All right, let's dig in even more. I hope to see you in the next video.